Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the market in February. What's going on? What are we seeing? Give you guys a pulse. So stay tuned.
Hey guys, welcome to The Buzz, Coffee and Real Estate. We just wanted to jump in. We haven't done a market update in a little while, kind of give you an idea of what is the spring market starting to look like. We've gotten some good data coming in. You know, some of it is national numbers.
That's right.
And some of the things like, say, interest rates. That's a big national number that we're talking about. And then a lot of it is really more specific, kind of like the central North Carolina area. You know, what kind of news is happening in this area. So, yeah, just wanted to really jump in and say, what are we seeing from some of our experts in interest rates?
Sure. So we were talking with Don. He's our preferred lender, and he's already kind of told us that the expectation is on Valentine's Day that the rates are going to come down some.
Which is good. So that's when the next CPI, which is, you know, CPI is the measure for inflation, those numbers come out. And if you guys remember, we've been talking about this. So the inflation numbers, the interest rates don't go with the inflation numbers, okay? You got inflation number, you got interest rate number, and you got what they call the Fed's number, the Fed raising interest rates, when you see those sort of guidelines. So as the Fed raises interest rates to try to keep inflation down or to change inflation, then that good news, inflation starting to come down, actually causes interest rates to come down. Okay, so even though the Fed recently raised their basis point again by 0.25, which was a smaller increase than we've had really in the last, almost year. They've been raising about 2 and 3 basis points. They only raised it by 0.25%, which was good. That indicator is basically letting us know that inflation is starting to come under control.
That's right.
And as it comes under control, interest rates are starting to level and actually even come down. I mean, what was he telling us earlier today as far as interest rates?
Well, I mean, it's crazy. So I talked to Don about a week or so ago, and he was telling me, he said, hey, I'm seeing people that are in the 4.75 range.
Really?
To about the 5.5 range. And we hadn't seen that in a long time. He said they did send out a report about the unemployment, and unemployment had went up. And so the rates, of course, then kind of bounced around with that as well, and they went up. And so he is saying now that there's a lot of these things that have kind of been pulsing around. And, you know, by February 14th, on Valentine's Day, there's another report that's coming out about inflation. So when that comes out, we should, because we're seeing that inflation going down, we should see rates start to do the same thing.
And we also had a jobs number come out, which showed up in the news. Oh my gosh, you know, big jobs number, which, you know, people think, oh, great, that means inflation's going to go up, you know, and so all that to say, don't get too caught up in the overall drama, okay? It's just like the stock market. It's going zip, 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 zip. But over the long term, it's either gradually going up or gradually going down. And what we're seeing is that it's gradually going down, actually. So, of course, we can't quote interest rates. It depends on your financial situation, how much money you're putting down, all of these sorts of criteria. However, basically, we wanted to encourage you that upper 4s, anywhere into the low 5s, mid 5s, upper 5s, it kind of bounces all over the place right there. But we're not seeing stuff in the mid 6s anymore like we were a few months ago.
That's right, or 7s or 8s for that matter.
Or 7 or 8. So all of that means it's gradually coming down, which is great for buyers.
That's right.
I wanted to mention something else, which is kind of on the back end of the real estate world. Just here in central North Carolina, we've got some big news that's going to change some of these bedroom communities. So just think about that 4085 strip, okay? Central North Carolina, you got Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill kind of over here. Then you got sort of a 40-mile Hillsborough and Mebane and Graham and Burlington and Whitsett, McLeansville, and all that, before you hit in the triad area of that Greensboro, Winston, High Point, Jamestown area. So this little area here typically has more affordable housing. But a lot of folks in these larger areas don't realize that. Well, so there's been MLSs, okay, that's basically the Zillow for realtors, which has been around a lot longer than Zillow, but it's our databases of homes. So we've actually had 3 regionals. We've had one in the triad over here, we've had a little one here, kind of the in between, and then we've had another large one here in the triangle. Well, this Alamance Burlington, which kind of covers some of Orange and Caswell and a little bit of Guilford over here, is actually merging with the triangle.
That's right.
So what that's going to do for you, if you're thinking about selling and you're anywhere in that sort of 40-mile stretch between the two big urban areas, is it's going to get you a lot more exposure to all of these real estate agents who are doing business in this little bit more eastern, much larger urban area of Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
So that when they're evaluating for their clients, they're able to see really side-by-side comparison of like, hey, for blanky blank amount of money, I can do a 3-2 on 1,800 square feet, or gosh, I could go a little bit farther outside in Alamance County. I never thought about that before, and I can get so much more house for my client. So just that little tiny tweak on the back end actually gives you a lot more exposure to a much larger market, which means we're going to have that many more people that migrate out into this area, which is great news for you guys. It's going to help as people want to sell that first-time home buyer home that they're starting to grow out of a little bit. You've got equity in the home already, and then you're going to have a larger buyer pool that now is getting exposure to your home. So just want to let you guys know it's really continuing to be a good time in real estate for balanced. Okay, we're always aiming for balance. And we had like this going on. The sellers had all the advantage, the buyers had none of the advantage. Although, we just had a buyer a couple of days ago, right?
Yes.
And submitted an offer, $11,000 over list price on a little, it was in the mid 200s. Okay, so it was a nice price point. She lost it. Conventional. It was a clean offer. All of that. There were 7 offers that came in on that house.
And we came in second?
We came in second. Yeah. So disappointing, but kind of a good gauge on the market is you still have some of these price points that are very, very hot. Sold in 2-3 days.
Yeah.
So very hot. I just want to let you know as a seller, yes, I can still sell my house. I can still get a great value for my home. Values have not gone down around here. And then as a buyer, with the interest rates starting to fall a little bit, and we do have inventory, available homes on the market that have gone up. So that is really helping to have, hey, I can actually find a home, and maybe I am having to go in a little bit over list, but I'm not having to go in $40,000 over list like you did earlier. So,
well, and the second that, we're also seeing a lot of the new constructions are actually starting to pop out. I know Windsor's got, I think, 16 homes. Is that what we heard?
Yes, they're just going out of the ground with a bunch of spec homes. So that is a nice thing as the supply chain debacle stuff from all of our COVID has started to iron itself out. New home construction has become a very good option again.
Yeah.
And these are ones that they're building houses actively. It's a brand new house.
That's right.
It has a warranty on it. And we've not done a whole lot of new construction because builders couldn't get them built.
That's right. And they had lots of crazy things that were going on with
them. Yeah. Hey, this house might take 6 months. It might take a year and a half.
That's right.
And so it just wasn't feasible for buyers. So that's a really good point you make. New construction is back in, and it's worth taking a serious hard look at it if you're thinking about buying, because a lot of times it's going to have less competition on it because it's still getting built. And they have really good incentives right now because they're trying to get their market back up and going. A lot of times they're offering free updates or seller pay closing costs or all those sorts of things.
I know that they're throwing out the 2-1 buy down now as well. That's a big one. And then also these are inventory homes, which the difference is that means that they're already built. So there are some homes that are already ready. Like you could go in, put it under contract, 30 days, close on it.
Right.
Versus, it's a year out or 6 months out. And then he's also has some that are in the, month to 2 month range.
Yep.
So
they're still getting the last, finishing touches on them sort of thing. But they're very close. So I would just encourage you, as you're thinking about the market update, interest rates stabilizing, this market continuing to be that Central North Carolina market, continuing to be very busy, very hot, but much more realistic overall than it was a year ago, year and a half ago.
Totally.
Cool. Anything else you wanted to throw in there?
I don't think so. I think it wraps it up.
Just keep an eye out, keep an ear out. We're going to be starting a seller series, and I just wanted you to really have the information that you guys needed if you're thinking about making a change. And so Josh and I have been putting our heads together. How can we keep a really clear-cut step-by-step process for you prepping your house to sell, getting it ready. What does it look like to put it on the market? Giving you kind of all those options there. So.
Yeah, we're also going to put in the description a part on our website, which is our home evaluation tool. It's a good way to at least get pulse. It's going to give you kind of a variance of how much your house is worth, and that way we can reach out to you, give you a full-blown CMA, tell you exactly how much it's going to be, and that way you can really walk away. It also will help with taxes, which we talked about in the last video. The taxes going up and things like that. So. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Go ahead and like this, share this with one of your friends, family members, and then if you will, go ahead and subscribe and click the little bell icon so that you get all our updates whenever new videos come out.
We're going to stay in touch with you this spring, really try to get you a lot of great information, because I think that there's a lot of folks that are really going to be making a shift here in 2023. That's right. Kind of been held back on some of the craziness that we've had going on, and now it's time to go ahead and make a move.
Perfect. Well, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks so much for watching.
All right.